I heard some things about the nukes, and people were talking about if they do go off, it's not about the localized radioactivity, it's about the atmosphere that gets blocked, and then global temperatures drop, and then the long term issues are
No, no,
frightening
no,
for the
no.
world.
Nobody. Um, I've gone and looked at all what he said actually very carefully. And what he said was, this was in his speech at there's the famous resort they have, where he gives every summer he goes and he gives a speech. The beach resort, one of the few real warm beaches they have in Russia. It's a tough country, and um, what he says is, if we have to go, we'll respond. And he said, God will accept us for this, but they won't accept America. That's what he says. So that's a belief that whatever they do is, God's on their side. They're God, And by the way, this is so far from communism. It's all gone. This is all entrepreneurship, et cetera. But there is something, the Peter the Great stuff. He's got this, he's whatever he has. I've also read the CIA does have a lot of contacts with psychoanalysts in the Washington area, and they do studies. They come in. I think it's a very smart thing to do. These are guys practicing, and they're known. They're not hidden. And they go and they see. I gives them access to intercepts and stuff that nobody else sees. Not about war, but just about personality. And I've seen one that didn't get promulgated about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer, 6 years ago, by a guy. One of the guys just sent it to me on the assumption that I wouldn't write about it, which I did. And I've seen one that talked about, he's supposed to be sort of a very arrogant hardhead and a judicial guy. He was in Japan. It began this 5 or 6 or 7 single page about this guy's psychology, as seen by a shrink, which may not be accurate, but the story he told was accurate. He thinks of himself as a black belt judo guy. And he went to some meeting and he wore black belt and he was exercising with the guys. And there was some fantastic woman and she challenged him. He said, no, I won't fight a woman. He said, no, everybody said, no, no, she's special, fight him. She threw him in about 20 seconds. Okay. And he got up and smiled graciously and acknowledged that he had misjudged her, that she was fantastic. And what the shrink said was, he's not necessarily, this is a humiliation for a man who's very, there were people there. He had his people there. But he doesn't always go to the top like he did with Ukraine, but he sure did it with Ukraine.
Mm.
I don't know why. I don't know why he got Crimea. Nobody's taken it away from him. And, and the truth is, more Russians were killed since 2014 when we basically overthrew the pro-Russian government, a very weak leader. The pro-Russian guy was collected foreign antique cars. The whole estate was littered with fancy $100,000 cars that nobody could drive. I mean, it's Looney Tunes. And but we did orchestrate that and put in a guy that's more friendly to America, which of course was one of the factors. And so I just don't know. And it is true that there was between 2014 and the war 2 years ago, 14,000 deaths in the Donbasses, in those areas.
Mm.
And there were just as many caused by the Ukrainians, probably more than by the Russians. So, I mean, it was a really nasty war nobody obeyed any of the agreements that were made. And so it would take incredibly good leadership in America to negotiate something. We'd have to be working with the Germans and the French and with the Chinese. And just think about it. If we all put our heads together, we could solve something, but we don't do it. We just yell about communists, communists, communists. And so it's going to be a null. There's going to be no changes in policy. His whole policy is going to be dependent on pulling out Ukraine, and what he's going to do when it looks like it can't happen. We may then get a settlement. We may force Zelensky to do something. If he's taking a taste of the oil money, he can take a bigger taste and go live in. He's got places, estates in Sardinia, so I hear, on the coast there with it's the new Nice. Back a decade ago, when the Russian oligarchs, when Russia fell, the guys that ran every country were the CIA, were the KGB guys, Nazarbayev, et cetera. He walked away with $5 billion worth of copper. Bought an estate in Nice. I did a story on him for the New Yorker once, way back in 98, 99. And we overflew the site. He had an incredible estate, big pool. You couldn't get near it. You had to overfly with the chopper, rent a chopper and take photographs. And even then, God knows, they probably had a missile coming at us.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.